In the bottom left, we have Grubby, the legendary Warcraft 3 player, eager to become a champion here in Starcraft 2.
So it means so much to him to win this.
Yeah.
You know, he's a multiple-time world champion in Warcraft 3. Could he do it here?
Fairly. They are all completely different games. In the upper right, and the only other starting location on the map, we have HuK.
All right. I'm really excited to see if anyone goes for Blink Stalker Observer here, because that is generally seen as the best build on this map, but that makes it so that you can do a lot of things just assuming that.
All right. And anyways, game's going to go on here. So right now, what I'm wondering is, are they going to go for Blink Stalkers here?
Yeah.
Because I think it's so good on this map.
Yeah. All right. So still sitting here waiting. Looks like both of them will go for that 13 gate. Well, a 12 gate for HuK, but a very late 12 gate. About the same thing.
Again, this is the rubber match between these two. Artosis, you've been to Shanghai a couple times now. Can you actually, and I'm totally serious here, what is actually the best stuff to eat?
Hot pot.
Hot pot?
Yeah.
Is that the Korean version of what would they call it, shabu shabu?
Yeah, shabu shabu, I guess, is like a Japanese version that we eat in Korea, I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
I believe it is.
Well,
I got a great Chinese shabu shabu place near my house I got to have you check out.
Well, I tell you what, each time I have come here, I've gone out to eat with some Blizzard guys.
You actually prefer Chinese food over Korean food, is that correct?
I actually do, yeah.
I
love it, man. It's so good. If you have someone that can show you around and show you the good food.
Yeah, I wish I was spending some more time down here because, I would love to sightsee a little bit more down here in Shanghai. Wonderful city, wonderful people. Looks like once again we're seeing the same pattern here. Grubby scouting again. Burst. HuK not scouting at all.
Yep, HuK not caring to scout. We do have that second gas going up for Grubby quicker here than HuK's. We'll have to see when he wants to get it. Okay, there you go. Does take it. And everything looking pretty normal so far. Can't really predict what they're doing yet.
Yeah, they're just developing their starts.
Yeah.
But all will change in a little bit here after the tech tree's done, and that's probably going to be shown shortly after the CyberConnect core is completed.
And as they get those stalkers out to chase each other's probes away, we'll get to see what they want to do. So, Tasteless, you still feeling confident, Grubby 2-1?
I think so. I feel like the game one, I don't want to say it was a fluke because Grubby should have noticed it. In fact, we all should have noticed it, but people don't look for that, a pylon right in the middle of your base.
Yeah.
I'm really curious actually about the what exactly was happening when that pylon was planted. Was there a zealot, stalker skirmish in the middle of the map when he put it there? Because I'm thinking that's probably the moment you could put something there and just get away with it.
Yeah, I think you're just about right on that. Well, right now we have Grubby going Robo, whereas HuK is going for a Twilight, and looks like he's going to throw up a couple more gates too. So it looks like this will just be a 3-gate blink to start, and he can always get observers later on. That's fine. It's not a huge deal. It's just a different way to do the build. And in fact, it might just be blink. We can't tell it quite yet. But Grubby with this robotics, if he goes for an expand, he'll be very happy if HuK gets a late observer, because really you need the observer to pick apart a robotics expand here.
It looks like for the time being, nobody's going to be touching each other either way. It's interesting to see they're both picking up very different builds right now.
Yeah.
One is a Twilight build, another Robo build. And even when you just see those two initial tech structures, there's a lot of different ways it can go from there.
Yeah. Well, Grubby throwing down a little pylon there, and that could be just for some warp-ins later on.
I think it's going to be. I think he's going to pressure on the front when HuK expands. And then when he gets the observer up in there, just warp in some zealots and start hitting the probes.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. That should be what we end up seeing. Or even if he has to stay on the defensive, just sending an observer over there and getting a couple of zealots in that main base can actually end up winning you the game.
And meanwhile, HuK moving out here. Now HuK might, I feel like Immortals counter blink pretty well.
Yeah, they do.
There's really not a whole lot you can do against it. So HuK, I think, is going to be in some trouble.
Well, we'll see what he can get done with this first group, because, he's going to have a pretty scary first set of units when
sure.
it first comes out, but Grubby has already started second Immortal, so yeah, I'm kind of feeling the same way as you. Grubby may actually be able to take a nice little lead here.
Well, I feel like it's going to be a build order win, or a build order loss if you're HuK.
Well, he's actually sending all of his Stalkers home right now while he does get his Robo up, and that'll give him more mobility. But
yep, for sure.
This means that Grubby may waste a Warp in where that's not going to be useful against all these Stalkers that are going to be at home.
I'm surprised HuK didn't actually check for the hidden pylon on this map where Grubby has it, because that's such a commonplace hidden, hiding the Zealots there.
Yeah. Well, he is in the base now, and Grubby is warping in a few Zealots.
Now, he doesn't see it yet.
No? And that's smart of Grubby not to send it out quite yet.
I'm surprised Grubby warped that in now. I would have assumed that he would have tried to push forward at the last second, warped in.
Yeah.
Into the main. I don't see the utility. And I mean, what if you warp those in and they're spotted? You just picks them off.
Yeah. Well, he still may get some value out of that, because right now HuK is walking back across the map as he does have his observer. And Grubby just actually making a lot of observers now. He's
going to try to win this off of intel.
He lost that first one, and then now he's getting a couple more, and that'll help him to stop the observer of HuK, which is something that's very useful against an attack like this.
Well, again, map control continues to go here for HuK. His expansion will finish a little bit before Grubby's. Meanwhile, Grubby driving out HuK's observer. And here come the Zealots now, going over here to where the probes are. Meanwhile, HuK warps in some Zealots of his own, but only 3 against the 4 here of Grubby. HuK blinking back over here. HuK can hit from many angles right now. And it does look like a nice force field there from, looks like HuK, excuse me.
Yeah.
And this is amazing, actually. Really nice hole here by HuK. I feel as though that warp in there was no use in it.
Yeah, it wasn't all that useful. Gave him a little probe lead, but was it really worth it? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, because not only did he stop it, but then he also knows there's a pylon there. He's not going to think that's a warp prism. All right, meanwhile, we have HuK coming in here. And, okay, I was going to say, if he tried to engage that, I don't know what I would do. Probably say it's a bad call. I mean, it probably wouldn't be that dramatic, but, you know.
Well, right now we do have the warp prism on the way for HuK here, so he wants to get some harassment done, but Grubby's getting the Twilight Council.
Okay.
And so we might see some counter blink going on by Grubby. A lot of people like to do that if they open Robo against someone that's going pretty heavy blink stalker. By going counter blink, you're going to have a nice little timing attack coming up.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. Blink actually counters. If your opponent goes blink, you counter with your own blink.
Yeah.
Because eventually a guy that goes blink first, he has to finish up as the rest of his tech tree.
Yeah.
You cannot just keep making stalkers and expect it to work.
That's very, very true. That's why HuK doesn't have too many yet. Now, HuK is getting ready. He has his warp prism out. We have Grubby still walking around the map. He's zoning out very well. Not letting HuK really walk down and do anything. And Grubby just looking completely safe right now.
Yep. Again, HuK moving out now. Now, there could be an engagement here. As you can see, Grubby's army considerably smaller in this location. He does want to retreat to the high ground. I don't think a sentry's going to be able to get a force field off here.
No, I don't think so. Oh, does get it. Going to kill a couple units from it. Totally worth a couple force fields for that. Now,
and here comes the warp prism, but there are too many stalkers. And I don't even feel like HuK was actually watching that. That actually went past the stalkers.
Yeah, he may have been looking at his other army at that time. And you know what? I kind of like the position Grubby's in here. He's going to have a very powerful few moments here where he can warp in a lot of stalkers, and he has blink.
All right, as you can see, HuK blinking behind the force fields right now. The angle here, far superior here for Grubby. I think HuK's going to be in a lot of trouble. The sentries are being gunned down. They're trying to target down, the stalkers are trying to target down these immortals, but it just is not enough. And it looks like, indeed, he's going to be blinking on top of HuK. HuK on the run right now. Grubby looking fantastic, not only with a supply lead, but just a positional tech lead as well.
Yeah, just being up like 12 supply at this point in the game. He's also up 6 probes, 5 stalkers. Everything looking pretty nice for Grubby right now. He's done a great job, but I don't know that HuK can quite be broken yet.
Well, HuK is taking a lot of hits here, trying to defend his front, but the fact of the matter is that in the back of his base, his probes are being gunned down. In fact, the probe count right now, 37 to 32 here with Grubby in the lead. But I don't know if HuK's warping enough units to actually take on these Zealots that are now hitting, these Stalkers are now hitting his worker line.
Here we go. He did just...
Oh, my God.
That's pretty crazy.
Zealots hitting probes over there inside of Grubby's expansion. Meanwhile, over here at this expansion here for HuK, Grubby hitting hard. This Nexus will go down. It looks like, although HuK has driven out the probes, the Nexus will remain, unlike the Nexus over here, the Nexus of HuK's.
Well, Grubby's down to just 25 probes at this point, whereas HuK is up at 32, so that actually was a pretty significant deal that went down with those Zealots that we all missed. I tell you what, HuK is tricky, man.
Yeah, HuK is, he's got his own way to play this. He's going to bring out now all of the probes here. This is an act of desperation as HuK is trying whatever he can do to possibly wipe out this army down here.
Will it work? I mean, he's
I don't know.
So
apparently
probes,
he wants to get that Immortal. I guess once he gets that Immortal, he can just start making stuff. Now we have Grubby blinking into HuK's space. It's like the weirdest game.
And then HuK just attacked his own Stalker a little bit there, stopped it though. And did HuK just deal this much damage to his army? HuK's going to have to do a counterattack though, right?
Yeah, well, I think what Grubby was trying to do was just buy time.
Well, you know what? He's got 28 probes against the 6 now of HuK. So HuK, even though he ended up killing that army,
and HuK only has one Nexus.
Yeah. I mean, he has to counterattack here. It has to work, or Grubby is going to be the victor of this match.
And now we see that it looks like HuK is trying to move out right now without too much success. So all Grubby has to do is hold this, and this game ends. Otherwise, if Grubby somehow bungles this great opportunity, he will lose.
The thing is, HuK does have the better army right now, and in fact, part of Grubby's army is over still harassing. Little does he know he doesn't need to do that. All he needs to do at this moment is defend.
All right, nice force field there. That's going to force these Stalkers to blink out. I'm even surprised that Grubby's actually warping in these Stalkers over here. I think HuK is basically dead. He just has not left the game yet.
Yeah. Well, you know, he's got to give this one a try. He's got really
I don't blame him for trying here, but I believe if he just uses his probes, and Grubby's going to do just that.
And here we go. The probes do come out, but there's a lot of Zealots there, and nice targeting by this Immortal, but the Immortal
will be taken out instantly.
And it's looking worse and worse for HuK. Look at this. He's down to 21 supply against 63 of Grubby's. And I think this is just about it, Tasteless.
All right, it looks like HuK's, this is his last chance. He's blinking out again. And the smart move with the force fields, if the Stalkers are pinned up against the wall, they're going to blink away. Then they blink away, and then they can't come back in there and try to attack again.
Yeah. And so HuK still just trying to maneuver. He's literally down to 10 Stalkers. That's all he has at this point. So he has to have perfect micro, but even that shouldn't actually be enough. And
all right, he's coming in here now.
We are learning very quickly that, in fact, it is not. He's down to 4 Stalkers.
GG. Great series.
That's right.
So Grubby is the victor, and Artosis will be giving me a back rub, which I rightfully deserved for my clairvoyance.